Hello everyone, so today I will be showing you how to set up and thread this sewing machine. I will also be sharing two different methods as to how to thread your needle as well. And I will not be going over how to set up your bobbin because I already did that in a previous video of ours. So if you need more information on that, make sure you check out that video as well. Before I begin, I just want to give a disclaimer and reminder that the needle that you're dealing with in this machine is going to be very sharp and it can poke you and possibly pierce your fingers. So just make sure that you are very aware and careful when you are dealing in areas near that needle head. And without further ado, let's begin by gathering all the materials that you will need. First being some sewing scissors found in containers near the sewing table, some thread of your choice. Today I'll be using a dark purple, and a fully threaded bobbin. I have it already loaded due to a previous video that you can refer to, as I said earlier. So on the machine there are a few visual steps that I will be following, but they are there to refer to if you need them. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way down is step number 5. The very first thing that you need to make sure is done is that your needle head is fully pulled up. So to do this, there is a large white wheel that's usually found on the right side, and you're going to twist that away from you. This will bring the needle up and you'll be able to thread it easily now. And as you can see, while doing this, there's a small piece of metal that moves up and down with it, and you need it to be up so that you can loop the thread around that as well. Now, taking your thread of choice, you're going to make sure that the thread end is behind the spool and to the left. And now we're going to follow along with the steps that are found on the machine. So place your thread spool onto the metal rod and pull the thread end all the way to the left and hook it around that little thin metal hook and pull it towards you. On to step 2, you're going to pull the thread end down through the rightmost groove. And 3, hook it around that little curve at the bottom there. 4, continue pulling it upwards. And now you get to the small metal hook. So just loop it over that and it should automatically hook for you. Very simple and easy. Once more, pull it up and around. And you should feel a little bit of tension while you do this. Now continue to pull it down to 5. And you got the first part done. Make sure you also leave a little bit of thread end at the bottom so that you have something to grab on next. Taking a closer look at the bottom of the machine, you can see that my thread is hooked onto a small metal hook located at the top of the needle. This will cause some tension, and that's perfectly normal. It's just to make sure your thread stays in correctly. So make sure you have that done. Now I'm trimming the end of my thread because I want the ends to be all nice and together and not fraying at all, because we are going to move on to threading our needle, and there are 2 different ways that I am going to show you. The first needle threading method is just freehand threading. So I'm taking my thread end and pushing it through the eye of the needle, which is a small hole located towards the pointy end of the needle. And I'm just pushing it through with my pointer and thumb, and now holding it with my pointer finger, and my other hand comes in to grab the thread end and just pull it towards the left, making sure that there's a little bit of extra thread because we'll need that later on. The second method is to use the help of the machine's needle threader. So to do this, you can see there is a little pushy lever thing right here that is moving this small apparatus, which is going to thread your needle for you. So I'm taking my thread end and I'm putting it horizontally through these 4 prongs. So there should be 2 prongs on top and 2 prongs underneath. And then letting go on the tension of that lever, it will pull my thread through my eye of my needle. This might take a few tries. It's a little bit difficult to get, in my personal opinion. But once you correctly get it, it should pull your thread through the eye of the needle. And you can see there's a little loop. And I'm just taking my left hand and just pulling the thread end all the way through towards the left, making sure to leave a little bit of extra thread through, just like the last method. And you can use whatever one works best for you. The next step to setting up your machine is going to be catching your bobbin thread with the upper thread that you are using. So your bobbin thread is going to be the thread that is underneath your material, or also known as the lower thread. So as you can see, the bobbin is already set up, so we don't have to worry about that, and you should make sure you have that done as well. Now, where I'm motioning towards, there is a small lever that will adjust the foot of the needle area. You want to make sure this is up. You do not want this to be down for this step. Now, I am holding onto the thread end and pulling it towards the left and continuing to hold on. If you don't do this, your needle may become unthreaded, and that would just be a real pain to have to do this all over again. Continuing to hold on to that thread, I'm taking my other free hand and putting it on the white wheel on the right side of the machine. I'm now going to turn that wheel away from me, which will bring the needle downwards. As you can see here, I am turning it and the needle is going downwards. When it goes down, it's going to catch on the bobbin thread below and keep on bringing your needle back up. Continue turning that wheel so that your needle is all the way up. If you see it go down a little, then that's perfectly fine. You know, that's all the way up it can go. And now taking my hand that's holding the thread end, I'm just going to pull that all the way to the left. While doing this, you should feel a little tension. That should be the bobbin thread coming up. And now I can start to see a little bit of it peeking out from the bottom. So just taking some scissors or anything small, I'm just pushing that bobbin thread out towards the left. And taking my left hand, I'm just going to pull that all the way to the left to around the same length as what my top thread is. And now you have both threads out. Once your threads are pulled out a little, you just should trim the ends of those, not too short, not too long, just so that you don't have to have long threads on your garment or whatever you're working on. I prefer to use scissors, but there's also this thread trimmer located towards the upper left of the machine. And there you go, all done. At this point, your entire machine should be set up and ready to sew. Thanks for watching and happy crafting!